Let me ask you one question before we actually start. If an attacker entered your company right now, while you're watching this, how long would it take your team to actually know? Not what your dashboard says, not what your last audit reported, not what was presented at the last board meeting, actually know. Because CrowdStrike's 2026 Global Threat Report found that the average attacker moves from getting into the spreading across your systems in just 29 minutes. The fastest is 27 seconds. And IBM's 2025 Cost of Data Breach report found that the average organization takes 181 days to identify a breach and another 60 days to contain it. Let me put this side by side. Attacker moves in 29 minutes, enterprise discovers it in 181 days. That gap is not a technology problem. It is a business continuity problem. And here is what it makes it worse in 2026. Attackers now have AI. They are using it to write perfect phishing emails, move faster through environments, and impersonate your leadership convincingly enough to authorize financial transactions. One example, in 2024, a finance employee at Arup, a global engineering firm, transferred 25 million after a deepfake video call that appeared to show their CFO and colleagues. Every participant was fabricated. And this is not what I am saying. It is as per Financial Times 2024. So that was not a phishing email. It was a fake boardroom. So the old question, can we keep attackers out, is no longer sufficient. The right question for every leader today is, when they get in, how far they can go and how fast can we stop them? So this is what today's episode answers. So we are covering 3 things today. 1, how attackers actually get in today. 2, what the 29-minute attack chains look like in plain English. 3, the guard framework. 5 pillars, 5 boardroom questions, practical, actionable, yours to take into your next leadership meeting. So let's start with our first topic. So think of your enterprise like a large international airport. Every day, thousands of people move through it. Employees, vendors, partners, contractors, devices, applications, APIs. The terminals are your business applications. The gates are your access points. The baggage systems are your data pipelines. Air traffic control is your critical infrastructure. And in the perfect world, everyone inside the airport is supposed to be trusted. Now imagine one person gets hold of a genuine staff badge. They do not break the door. They do not cut the fence. They do not even look suspicious. They just badge it. They walk through the same gate as everyone else. They move through the restricted areas. They blend into the normal flow of business. And that is the modern cyber attack. The most dangerous breaches today often do not start with a hacker breaking in. They start with someone logging in, using the credentials that look completely legitimate. And this is where many leaders get it wrong. They assume an attacker needs to be highly technical to enter the system. But in reality, there are many ways to get that badge. Sometimes it starts with phishing and social engineering. An employee receives an email that looks like it came from the CFO, IT support, or a trusted vendor. No spelling mistakes, no obvious red flags, just one urgent message, one convincing link, one rushed click. And suddenly, the attacker has the badge. Sometimes it starts with credential-based attack. A username and password leaked in the previous breach are reused somewhere else. The attacker does not need to guess anything. They simply try the key to another door and it opens. Sometimes it's MFA fatigue. The attacker already has the password. Now they flood the employee's phone and approval request late at night. The employee is tired, confused, frustrated. One tap to make it stop and the attacker's walking. Sometimes the badge doesn't come from your employee at all. It comes through your supply chain, a vendor, a contractor, or a third-party system that has legitimate access to your environment. The attacker compromises them first, then quietly uses that trusted connection to reach you. And sometimes the threat is already inside. A careless user, a compromised partner account, these are the hardest to detect. So the real question is no longer can hackers really break into the airport? The question is, how many people are walking around with a badge they shouldn't have? And once they are inside, you can actually see where they are going. Because in today's enterprise, the breach does not begin when data is stolen. It begins much earlier, when trust is given to the wrong identity. In 2023, MGM Resorts was hit by a cyber attack that reportedly began with a social engineering call to its IT help desk. Attackers impersonated an employee, gained access, and disrupted hotel and casino operations across MGM properties. And that led to a negative impact of 100 million on its third quarter results. So now we know the first truth. Attackers do not always hack in, they log in. And that brings us to our second topic of the day. What happens after they get inside? Because the next 29 minutes can decide whether this remain a small incident or become a full-scale breach. Let's see. They get the batch. One AI-generated phishing email, no spelling mistake, no red flag, written by tools like WarmGPT, an underground AI model with no safety guardrails, one click, credentials stolen, badge acquired. Or they use MFA fatigue, flooding a user's phone with push notification, one tap, full access. Minutes 1 to 10, they learn the airport. Quiet, patient, they map your Active Directory, find domain controllers, identify forgotten service accounts, locate the contractor batch that still opens door from the project that was closed 2 years ago. This is where identity sprawl becomes your biggest hidden vulnerability. Too many users with too much access, too many forgotten accounts, too many systems connected without clear ownership. To leadership, operational complexity, to an attacker, a master key. And if your enterprise has deployed AI copilot with broad access to internal documents and emails, the attacker doesn't even need to explore manually. They can simply ask it, show me all the documents labeled confidential. Summarize the last 90 days of finance communication. Your own AI tools become your problem. Now 10 minutes to 29 minutes, they find the master key and move. One old service account with an unchanged password, one developer token with production access, 1 weak link upward. Then lateral movement, using your own tools, remote desktop, PowerShell, file shares, no new malware, no signatures to catch. The SolarWind attackers did exactly this. They moved silently through the networks of US government agency and Fortune 500 companies for up to 14 months, using legitimate tools, mimicking normal traffic, staying below thresholds before anyone knew. And 14 months inside, undetected. By the 29 minutes in your environment, one compromised batch can become access to your financial system, your customer records, your executive communication, your cloud management console. And your security team may still be asking, is this alert real or it's just a noise? I want to pause here because early in my career, I was a part of a response to the breach that had been running for 11 days before anyone in the organization knew. The attacker was patient, slow, deliberate, staying below detection thresholds the entire time. An alert had fire on day 2. An unusual service account login, low severity, it sat in a queue, nobody actually touched it. Not because the team was bad, because it had hundreds of alerts, limited context, nothing connecting that single flag to anything significant. The signal was there, the noise buried it. But today, with AI-powered behavioral analytics, that incident would have been stopped on day 2. Because the AI would have connected that login anomaly to 2 other low-severity signals from the same 48 hours, assessed the combined risk as critical, and triggered automated containment before actually human opened the ticket. So this is a shift, a fundamentally different operating model altogether. Now we have seen the dangerous part. Once attacker gets inside, they move fast, quietly, and intelligently. That brings us to our third topic, the guard framework. 5 leadership questions every company should ask, along with tools that can help answer them before the next breaches begin. Let's start. The guard framework. G stands for govern identities. The badge is the entry point. Badge governance is your first line of defense. If a senior leader's credentials are stolen tonight, what can the attacker access? Traditional security asks one question at login. Is this the right password? Pass or fail? Session trusted. AI asks a different question. Does this behavior look like a real person? Platforms like Entra ID and Okta can really run continuous risk score on every login and every session, device location behavior, time of the day, global threat signals, anomaly detected, and access blocked automatically. No help desk ticket, no human in the loop, it happens in milliseconds. And the leadership leverage, you are no longer relying on your employee to spot a perfect phishing email at 8 a.m. on a Monday. AI is watching every login, every session, every access request, and making real-time judgments that used to require a human analyst. And your boardroom question If credentials are compromised tonight, how quickly does your AI system know something is wrong? Unify Detection. A good airport doesn't have just cameras at each gate. It has a unified control room that sees the whole picture. So most enterprises do not lack alerts. They lack connected context. One identity alert, one endpoint alert, one cloud alert. Separately, they look minor. Together, they show an attack in progress. Behavioral analytics platforms like Microsoft Sentinel and SecureNX build the baseline for every user and device. An attacker using valid credentials and legitimate tools still looks behaviorally wrong to an AI that knows what normal looks like. The signal does not get buried. And your boardroom question for this: what is your real mean time to detect? Not the dashboard number, but the actual time between attacker entry and your team knowing. A. When a threat is identified at an airport, nobody convenes a committee. Pre-designed protocols execute immediately. So in ransomware behavior starts at 2 a.m. on a Sunday, does containment require a human to be awake? Colonial Pipeline 2021. Attackers gain access through one legacy VPN account with no MFA. Ransomware deployed 5,500 miles of fuel pipelines shut down, 6 days of disruption across the US East Coast. A 4.4 million ransom paid. So one legacy account, no automated containment, national infrastructure halted. So AI can really help in defending. SOAR platforms like Splunk SOAR execute pre-approved playbook automatically, isolate the endpoints, revoke the tokens, preserve evidence, notify the team in just under 60 seconds without human approval. Automation doesn't replace judgment, but it buys human time. So your boardroom question for this is: if ransomware starts at 2 a.m. on Sunday, does your containment response require a human to be awake? Or restrict blast radius. One staff badge should not open every door on the airport. Change Healthcare 2024. Attackers entered through the remote access portal with no MFA. The network was insufficiently segmented. They reached the systems containing the records of 192.7 million individuals, the largest healthcare data breach in the US history. Payments disrupted, pharmacy affected, patients impacted. One entry point, flat network, enterprise-wide crisis. Tools like Illumio map every east-west communication in your environment, 30 days of passive observation, recommend segmentation policies based on what they actually see. Zscaler, zero trust network access, replaces VPN with application-level services. Users reach out only what they need, nothing else. No network to move laterally through. Your boardroom question for this is: if one device in your organization were compromised right now, how many critical systems could an attacker reach from it? D. Defend AI systems. The airport just installed a powerful new information kiosk that can answer any question about any passenger, any cargo, any staff schedule with no access restrictions and no query logs. That is what an ungoverned enterprise AI looks like. In 2023, Samsung engineers pasted proprietary source code and confidential meeting notes into ChatGPT to help them with their work. The data left Samsung's control entirely. Samsung subsequently banned Gen AI tools on the company devices. That was not malicious, that was productivity. This is happening in your organization right now. Now imagine a deliberate attacker using your own enterprise AI copilot through a compromised identity to surface M&A documents, client data, board communications through normal-looking queries. No traditional security alerts are fired. The data leaves through your own tool. Now, how AI can defend this is tools like Microsoft Purview sensitivity, labels restrict what Copilot can surface. AI query logging treated as privileged access logging, unusual pattern triggered behavioral alerts, input and output guardrails block prompt injection setups. The principle: your AI tools are not exempt from security control you apply to everything else. Boardroom question: do you know exactly what your AI tools can access? And if you are actively monitoring how they are being used? Let me bring this back to the airport one final time. A well-run airport does not build a higher fence and hope nobody gets through. It operates on assumption that eventually something will happen, and it designs every system, every protocol, and every response capability around one question. When something gets through, how far can we go? How fast can we contain it? That is the mindset shift enterprise security need in 2026. And here is what I genuinely believe after years of working on both the sides of this problem. AI has given defenders something they have not had in a long time, the ability to match attackers' speed. Not to guarantee no breach will ever happen, but to shrink the window from months to minutes. That shift is available right now. To any enterprise that chooses to build around, Guard is a framework. 5 pillars, 5 board questions, 1 framework. And what I want to leave you with this one same question I opened with. If an attacker entered your organization right now, how long would it take you to actually know? If the honest answer is days, weeks, or months, that is where the work begins. If this kind of leadership briefing is useful, where we cut through the noise and focus on what actually matters, for enterprise decisioning, subscribe to TeqTalk. Every week, one important enterprise topic broken down for leader and practitioner. Every 2 weeks, a conversation with someone building this in real world. Subscribe and share with the leaders who should be sitting with the 29-minute question.